and my whole seam had split from like almost the bottom of the dress to the top.
This week's guest on Off the Hanger is fabulous jewellery designer Rachel Galley. We had a brilliant chat about all the amazing things in her wardrobe and how she incorporates her stunning jewellery pieces into her everyday clothes. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us on Off the Hanger this morning. It is very exciting to have you with us. You are the most incredible jewellery designer, and I am fascinated to find out how your jewellery integrates into your wardrobe. But how long have you been doing jewellery design?
I started sort of officially in 2009. That's when I set the business up. But before that, I was doing my degree in jewellery design, and then kind of did art before that. But when I was a little girl, I used to make jewellery actually and like sell it at school fairs. So I'd set my little stall up and have my little beaded earrings. So I think it's always been there, if you know what I mean.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing that you were into it from so early on. And I wonder if there's people now who bought your pieces as a child from when you were a child and they still have them.
Do you know, I'm trying to find, like, I remember making them with the beads, and my mum used to take me to the bead shop, and I remember what they looked like. Obviously, we didn't really have iPhones and cameras back then, so I don't really have pictures of it all, but I know what they look like, and I'd really like to see them again.
You could have a heritage collection where you recreate all of those pieces. That would be amazing. And is your earliest fashion memory of jewellery, or were you quite into fashion as a child as well?
I would say I don't know if my fashion choices were the best. I do remember a dress that I had, and my mum will remember this. It was a navy blue corduroy dress. It had long sleeves with little buttons on them, on the sleeves, and it was navy blue, and it had satsumas on it, like half-cut satsumas. And honestly, I slept in it. I remember sleeping in it, going to bed. I remember never taking this dress off. So I don't think we've got it anymore, sadly. But yeah, I think that's my first kind of memory of kind of something that I loved, you know?
I think that's amazing. I love that, like, as children, when we love something, we love it so hard. It's like we never want to take it off. We want to go to bed in it. My son is exactly the same now. Yeah. There's certain things in his wardrobe that I think I'd have to chip them off his body if he had a choice. He would literally wear them until they were crusty. It would be horrendous.
Isn't it? What is it that makes us do that? It's great, isn't it?
I think it's because we know what we like. And we're not influenced at that age by what everybody else thinks. So we just go, this is what I like. This is what I stand by. And I don't care of anything else.
Brilliant.
Are you somebody who hangs on to things? What's the oldest thing you've got in your wardrobe?
So at the moment, the oldest thing I've got is a little controversial. Because it's my grandma's, and she is 100 years old.
Wow.
So it must be older than her. But it is controversial because it is a mink coat.
Okay, now you see, I think that vintage pieces like that, I think are completely okay, because they were killed, and that isn't great, but they were, and if you then destroy the fur and you destroy it afterwards, I think it's been wasted. If it is loved and cherished and looked after, then I think it's fine.
Yeah,
people are going to throw paint on me in the street, but that's my opinion.
Well, and I agree, because she was moving into a care home, and she had all these clothes, and she asked me if I wanted anything, and said that she had this fur coat and it was from Canada. And I sort of was like, oh, what else are you going to do with it? And she's like, well, just throw it away. And I was like, oh, that's such a waste. I mean, I haven't worn it because I don't know how I feel, but I wanted to preserve it.
Yes, I think, have you got it there? Can we see it?
Hold on, let me grab it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look at it. It's really beautiful. I think you should wear it. I think you should wear it for a special occasion. I think that's the most beautiful thing. And it's incredible. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's got little flora embroidery, if I can show you that on the inside. Don't know if that comes up on the camera.
Oh yeah, you just see
Got
it little
tiny flowers embroidered inside.
And a piece like that will have been made to such high quality. That is why it's lasted so long.
I don't think it's got any names in it, or it's beautiful though.
It is incredibly beautiful. Oh my goodness. And have you got boys or girls?
All boys.
Oh, boys. Oh, they're not really going to want to have that passed down to them. Maybe their spouses.
I've got nieces. So
yes, so nieces. It could stay in the family that way. A beautiful heirloom piece that gets passed down.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, is there a piece in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments when you wear it? It might be jewellery, or I was going to say, is it jewellery? Because I imagine you've got some most amazing things.
I do have a few pieces of jewellery. Yes. I probably wear, I mean, I've got kind of a stack that I've created pendant wise. And this probably does get quite a lot of attention because it's got a few different dangly bits on it and they're all personal to me. And this has spurred some of the newer collections that we've launched as well. So I've got my V for my first son called Valentino, and that's his birthstone, a pearl. And then I've got a little N. I'm doing this back to front. I've got an N with diamonds on, but that's for my little one. That's Nico. So that's the new kind of initials collection. Then I've got birthstones, rubies. I've got a little M for my stepson. So it's kind of my personal sort of collection. And that's kind of, I wear that all the time, no matter if I'm stacking it with something else. So I'd say that gets the most attention, jewellery wise. Clothes wise, I think anything that's not the usual mum school run, dressed in activewear and a t-shirt, if I actually put some proper clothes on, my friends are like, wow, you look amazing. I'm like, yeah, I got dressed today.
I have two very distinct looks, and I saw a meme about this the other day. One was that, like, I either look like I'm a trophy wife, which really made me chuckle, or I look like I've been dragged backwards through a charity shop. And they are my two very distinct personalities. I turn up to the school run and they very much know it's like, you're going to work today, aren't you? Because, you know, the makeup's done, the hair's done, you're wearing something nice, it's ironed and it's clean. Or there's the other days it's like, oh, you're working from home today.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. Yeah. I think everyone's probably the same though, you know.
Yeah, I think so. I think you've got to have that variety. I couldn't be polished and perfect all the time. That would be very hard work.
It would be.
It'd be draining. It'd be draining.
And then you would look special, would you, when you do put it all on?
Exactly. And it makes you feel special when you do put that bit of effort in.
It really does, yeah.
Now, are you somebody that likes to splurge on your wardrobe? Have you got a most expensive piece you can tell us about?
Yes, this was a splurge. It's shoes, if that's all right.
Good. Love shoes. I am a shoe obsessive, so be still my beating heart. Look at those.
So these are Alexander McQueen. I don't even remember how much these were, but I think they were close to sort of £500. And that for me is a splurge.
Yes.
A lot of a splurge. Considering that I've worn them once. That's quite an expensive night out, isn't it? You know.
But they're fabulous, and I think our feet don't really change size that much. So no. I think I'm justifying it for you. Can you tell? I'm completely justifying this.
Just my ability to walk in them might have changed slightly. But I although I don't, as you can see, wear them very often at all, in fact, I cannot get rid of them because I just absolutely adore them. I love them. I love the leather. I love the heels, the shape of them. I like the little platform bit underneath here. I just think they're the most beautiful objects in the world. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to put them in a cabinet and keep them forever.
What's the newest piece that you've got in your wardrobe?
The newest piece, I bought, and this is completely the other end of the sort of spectrum to the Alexander McQueen. I bought this dress. It's a blue Zara dress, but it was only available in America. So it was a bit of a kind of challenge to get it. I've got an auntie who lives in America, so I managed to order it via her, and she shipped it to me, and it probably cost a fortune. But I'll just grab it down. But it's I just really loved the colour, and I loved the kind of neckline here. I mean, it's a nightmare for a bra or anything like that, but I liked the shoulder piece, that kind of the straps and the shoulder piece, and I thought it's nice and colourful and bright and kind of gorgeous.
It's very gorgeous. I love that colour. The colour's incredible of that. And also with that neckline, that still lends itself to a necklace, to a longer necklace, and because it's clean here, but you've got that beautiful detail on the shoulder.
Yeah, and I'm quite a fan. I don't have a lot of kind of patterns in my life or wardrobe. Everything's kind of more block colours and very, I've always been like that. My friends were always buying kind of, I remember going to sort of shopping mall place with my friends, and they were all buying, we were in Gap, and I was like, oh my goodness, I love Gap. Plain t-shirts, plain jeans, it was like heaven to me. And my friends were like, oh, you're so boring, so boring. But I've never changed. I've always, so when I see something that's kind of like really gorgeous, but like one kind of colour, something about it just draws me towards it. And then obviously accessories wise, I can put, any kind of item to it, because it does have that sort of versatility, I suppose. Maybe that's why I do it. Maybe that's why
I think that's it. I think it is. I think, when you're somebody who, I bet you feel naked without jewellery on.
Yes.
So I think as somebody who loves jewellery and it's really your passion, it's so nice to be able to wear those pieces and have pieces that are going to work with your jewellery. I love that one. That's so fabulous.
It's simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it really works.
That, and the gold and blue. Nice, isn't it?
Really lovely. Now, are you quite sentimental when it comes to the things that you've got? Are you quite, do you have a most sentimental piece?
I would probably say it's the dress I wore for my wedding, which was a very small affair. I was to-ing and fro-ing between what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, and in the end it was just us. Then we went to the registry office and we just did it, and we just had a lovely day, and it was gorgeous weather. We went to a lovely restaurant, and it was just really personal with us and the children. I have worn it since because it's really practical. I'll grab it if you don't mind.
Yes.
Show you what I mean. So it's an unconventional wedding dress colour. Oh, but this is where's it from? Karen Millen, and it's a very simple halter neck, which I think suits my body shape. It kind of brings your waist in, and it's kind of a flared skirt. But it's just a lovely corally. It's a bit creased, sorry. It's just a lovely corally colour.
The colour's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful.
So,
did you wear a lot of accessories with it? How did you style it up for your wedding?
So obviously I had my wedding and engagement ring, which is actually a 2-part ring. I don't know if you can see that. So
that's beautiful.
Stack into each other. I wore some diamond. These ones I put them on for you. These diamond Molto kind of sweeping earrings, so I wore those, and obviously my diamond pendant. So it was diamonds all the way, but I think that's kind of a nice thing to do on your wedding day, isn't it?
It is, because they're all pieces that mean something to you and that are still very classic. They're not a super, I always think when brides go for something that's really trend led, I think, that's going to look great now, but when you look back on your wedding pictures, you're going to be like, what was I wearing?
Maybe I will. But I just think diamonds go with everything. Day, night, wedding, not wedding. And I think the colour of it kind of lent to just being clean and crisp. And I wore my gold sandals as well with those.
Oh, they're lovely. Really nice.
Silver, so I'm wearing sort of platinum jewellery, so that's silver, but these are kind of like a sort of silvery gold, if that's possible to have that.
I think depending on what you style them with will really dictate what colour they look.
Yeah, so I wore them with, silver. So that was I suppose that's my kind of most sentimental kind of.
Oh, it's lovely. Is there a piece in your wardrobe that you'd say most sums you up?
No, that's a difficult one as well. If anyone knows me, it's the all black. Anything all black. I am really, obviously I've shown you 3 items that aren't black at all, so maybe I'm changing. Maybe that's evolving. but generally all black leggings, black. I've got leather trousers on, black top, because I think it's a really good canvas for what is my passion, obviously, with the jewellery. And you can literally wear any item of jewellery with any black outfit. You can layer bangles up and they become the hero piece of the outfit. So, you know, as we were saying, the school run, it's generally kind of a leggings with a black t-shirt, and just throwing on a pendant like this, people say, oh, are you going somewhere? Like, no, I've just put a piece of jewellery on. Kind of brings the outfit to life, you know. So that just sort of plain sort of black outfit, I would say, nothing specific.
But I like that, though. I like that it's about giving yourself that blank canvas to really then showcase the pieces of jewellery that you're going to wear. And that's how you style and that's how you make your statement. It's not through necessarily big, bold prints or really kind of statement silhouettes. It's about the jewellery pieces.
Yeah, giving them the kind of frame and the basis to shine. Yeah.
So other than your necklace, do you have a favourite piece that you always reach for time and time again?
So the most kind of prominent piece that I have made and still make, and it's still popular, is the bangle, which is the Allegro bangle, and it's a very special piece. It's made with the lattice work. I'll try and show you a bit closer. It's made with the lattice work.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, the key to the collections. It's got little silver beads inside it as well. I don't know if that comes through on there. Yeah. But it was inspired by, the texture was inspired by my grandma and making kind of toast with her, and that texture and that smell and being in her kitchen. And it's all very kind of abstract, but you probably wonder how I get from that to the bangle. But it's the texture, and it just works so well with the silver, with that kind of light and the way it moves and the sound and everything about it is just so tactile and fluid and movement. And you know, it makes people smile when they wear it. It makes people smile because they hear it and they think, oh, jewelry doesn't have to be serious all the time. It can be fun and it can be wearable and it can be entertaining as well. So I think that kind of sums up my collections and probably me as well. Not too serious.
I love it. I love that though, because I think, you know, I'm always trying to say to people, fashion's really fun. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be enjoying it. But jewellery always does, especially fine jewellery, always does feel quite serious because it's an investment piece and it's something that's sensible and, you know, you're spending a lot of money on it. Whereas I love that idea that actually you're making pieces that are really fun and they're supposed to be fun.
Love them. Enjoy them. Make them, you know, make you smile. It's lovely. It should be fun, shouldn't it?
It really should. It really should. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, are you somebody who ever has a fashion faux pas or a wardrobe malfunction?
Probably many, yeah. I mean, apart from all the days at school when I forgot it was non-school uniform day and turned up in my uniform, yes, that was as a child. Probably scarred myself for life. As an adult, though, I was going to the Jewellery Awards, which is kind of a big thing in the jewellery calendar. And I'd got a little, it was sort of a similar colour to the Zara dress, the peacocky blue kind of colour. And I haven't got it anymore, I don't think. And it's a very pencily, very nice high heels, you know. I was like, oh, look at me. And we got out of the taxi at the location. I think it was in Soho. And my colleague who was with me went, oh, Rachel, and like touched my bum. And my whole seam had split from like almost the bottom of the dress to the top, to the kind of the bottom of the waist. And I was like, right. So we immediately turned straight back in the same taxi that hadn't left yet, went back to the hotel, changed. I was like, so I'm glad I didn't go in, but I'm sure probably I flashed quite a few people.
Oh, at least she was with you and she was able to tell you. Can you imagine having been on your own and not noticed and just walked in to that room full of people?
Handbag with you, you know. You can't.
There's no coverage. There's no coverage going on there.
Walk backwards against a wall.
Just shuffle out, find a napkin, just hold the napkin behind you.
Honestly, yeah, that was a bit of a panic. Yeah.
Now, from what you've shown me so far, I'm really excited about the answer to this question, but what are your favourite shoes?
Oh, well, I think they obviously are the Alexander McQueen. I don't know if they've got a name. I do still have the box. Do they have a name on them?
They normally do, don't they, on the side?
Studded pump, calf leather black, it just says. It's not, studded pump. I wouldn't, is that a pump?
Yes, pump's an American term. We call it kind of a shoe, whereas Americans would call that a closed toe would be a pump.
Yeah, so I'd say those are my favourite shoes, even though they're not practical. But the ones I showed before, these, I mean, they're LK Bennett, so they're really lovely. They are very well worn. But I just think they're the most elegant heeled kind of sandal. I just love them, and I like them on my feet. And you know, sometimes you can look at a shoe and think, I love that shoe, but then you put it on and it just doesn't go with your legs and your shape, and it just doesn't work. So for me, I think they're very complimentary to my legs and feet, and I think they look nice, and I like them.
They look beautiful. I kind of have that with Converse. You know, the Converse just trainers, I always like the look of them on other people, and then when I put them on my feet, I feel I'm wearing clown shoes.
I feel the same in Converse. I love them. My children wear them. I'm like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I just look like some kind of alien wearing them.
Yeah, I just look like I've got massive like clown feet. I'm like, why do they make my feet look so big? I don't understand what the problem is here. So yes, I have to avoid. I have to go for like more neater looking trainers. Otherwise I look like I've got massive feet. Now is there a dream fashion item that you don't have that you would love to own?
I was thinking about this question because there was a dress that I was hankering after for sort of our wedding. I don't know. I've tried to look it up again because it was kind of like a sheer goldy sequiny sort of beachy dress, wedding dress thing. I mean, totally impractical because I was dreaming of a beach wedding. That was about £10,000 or something. That would have been really lovely to, you know, have worn that at least for a day. That would have been amazing. And handbags wise, I think is a YSL handbag with the kind of pleats down the side of it. It's a very kind of box bag. It's just a really nice, and that's about £5,000. So that's on my future list.
On the one day list. One day these pieces will happen. That's what I have, like the one day list.
Put it with the Alexander McQueen shoes and not use it. So
No. You'll be living a fabulous life where it's completely appropriate to wear those shoes, carry that bag. You'll have a driver. All you'll do is have to walk to that car. They'll take you somewhere. There'll be no running round. It'll all be fine.
If I'm wearing those, but yeah.
Now, have you got a piece of advice that you would give to your younger self about fashion?
Yeah, I suppose I've always kind of tried to follow sort of trends and things like that. And I think it can be quite hard if you haven't, we just touched on it with the shoes, if you haven't got that body shape or you haven't got that kind of look, it can easily become a bit of a uncomfortable situation. And it's hard to kind of explain that, but it can become quite emotional personally if you are trying to look a certain way or wear a certain thing that just doesn't suit you and it doesn't make you feel comfortable. And I think I would just try and cut all that out and just wear the things that are right for your body shape and right for you and how you feel, rather than trying to keep up with kind of, you know, either your friends who are buying things or different, like patterns, for example, like I just didn't work with them. And I suppose I stuck with that one. I stayed sort of with plain, bright, bold coloured items. But just to, like bodysuits and things like that, they just never fitted me. I've got a really long body, so they were really uncomfortable. So I'd just be really miserable. And yes. So I think just wear things that are you and trying to stay true to you, because fashion is so varied and versatile. And there are trends, but so many things are on trend, and I think classic pieces, timeless pieces, pieces that make you feel fabulous are what I would focus on.
I think that's great advice. It's really good advice. And then you can always like spice it up with the jewelry and things and the accessories that you wear and the fabulous shoes and bags.
Shoes, funky trainers, you know, whatever your kind of look is. Yeah. Be you.
It's great advice. Now, what have you got coming up for your new collections? Is there anything that you can give us a little tease about? Because
So,
I love your website and there's so many beautiful things on there.
it's a nightmare. So I go to a how on earth do I choose what I'm going to wear? It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Yeah, so we're doing the lots more personalisation. That's coming up. So we've got lots of initials. We're going to launch some pieces that you can actually engrave on. It's quite a kind of logistic thing, the engraving, to make sure we can facilitate it in time and get good shipping and good prices and all that. So we've made sure we've worked on that. So there's going to be lots of new pieces you can buy to engrave. Usual pieces like new collections coming through, different themes using different gemstones. They're all kind of being worked on. Stacking earrings, we're building all that. I mean, everything. We're building on everything. Last night I was doing some designs just on I think it was just on a receipt, the back of a receipt, thinking, right, I'll have to put those into a proper sketchbook and work on those. But that's kind of, it downloads at the most peculiar times, sort of random ideas. So yeah, so the personalisation, great for Christmas as well, is coming up. And yeah, just more along the lines of what we've currently got.
That's amazing. And I'm fascinated about your inspiration and where it comes from. I love the idea that you would just be scribbling a drawing on the back of a receipt, because you never know when inspiration's going to come or where it comes from.
Yeah, no, you really don't actually. And I can be on a beach finding a shell or a piece of rubbish even on a beach, something, and it's just got a beautiful shape to it. I remember finding kind of a rubber, it must have been a washer of some kind, but it had been worn by the sea and it had a kind of hole in it, and I was like, that's possibly the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it's a piece of rubbish, but it spurred a collection. It was called the Ananta collection, and I had beads rolling around within this beautiful kind of donut shape, and it was so technical, and I kind of go down that avenue and I have to bring myself out sometimes, because that obviously adds quite a lot of complexity and cost to jewellery if it becomes a bit over-engineered. Yeah. That's my brain. My dad's an engineer, so I think I've got that kind of brain that wants to make things work. But yeah, it can come from anywhere. A walk, and I can see two sort of leaves dancing in the sun, and I can see the shape of the sunlight, and it's just different moments take different inspiration, and I think then it may not result in a piece of jewellery or a collection that day or that year, but it's in there, and then it downloads at some point where you might be doing something completely else, random.
That's so inspiring, and I love that it's really so visual for you. Everything that you're inspired by is always something that really visual.
Yes.
I always say this because I've always worked in an industry that's very visual. Yeah. And so my brain works in that way. And it's why I can't remember anybody's name, because I never see it written down. Whereas if I see somebody's name written down, I will always remember their name. But if somebody tells me their name, that's not a visual cue for my memory. So my memory goes, no, we don't need that. But yeah, if it's a visual thing, just in one ear, out the other. So yeah, I think it's amazing how different our brains work. Yeah, it is. And like my brother is totally different, he's into web and maths and coding and all that kind of abstract, it's bizarre. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, it's been so lovely to talk to you. I've enjoyed this so much, and I think it's so interesting speaking, because on Off the Hanger we have so many different guests, and it's really lovely talking to people with really distinct specialities, and I love the way that you just incorporate your pieces into your outfits and into your life, and how they just bring so much joy. Thank you. Yeah, they do. And I think that's always been the kind of response from my customers, is that they're just so happy to wear them, and they're confident to wear them, and they make them feel good. And that is essentially why we do what we do, isn't it? To make people feel good. So also, as a special treat for our Off the Hanger viewers and listeners, I believe you've got a little gift for us, haven't you? We do, because if you're new to Rachel Galley and you've not had a piece before, you've not tried them, we've got a discount code for you to use on the website, and you just type in welcome at the checkout and you will get an amazing discount. That's so exciting. Oh my goodness, we're all going to be running off and purchasing loads of fabulous pieces. I did emails from husbands saying, can you just stop now? Can you just stop? Can you just stop making fabulous things? I think that's what my husband feels like about our delivery guy. Can you just stop bringing her things? Stop it. Just stop bringing her things. If it has her name on it, just send it back. She doesn't need any more.
That's the same here.
Oh, well, it has been so wonderful to talk to you, Rachel. Thank you so much for being part of Off the Hanger. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe and check out more episodes of Off the Hanger.